Live. Hey, hey, like the Fonzie. Hope everybody's doing great. Hope you can hear me. Let me know if audio's good. It's a little different setup tonight. Figure it's Monday. Monday's always kind of the night of nothing, sadness. I'll turn this fan down a little bit. I got it blowing, trying to keep some of the buggies from coming in, but. Anywho, I kind of wanted to play around. I was playing around with it. This is the Power Master, the Power Master. And I've been sitting here thinking. Some of you guys have gave me some insight of LiftMaster bringing back the 5.0 logic. Now, I guess I'm assuming, right? I'm not real clear on that stuff. I'm assuming it's going to be basically this old case, basically the same kind of case. Big old AC. Yeah, baby. Right there. AC. Dual capacitors. Yeah, we ain't screwing around. You stick your finger in that, it's gone. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Anywho. So if anybody knows that jumps in, let me know if that's the thing. I mean, I assume if they're bringing the 5.0 back, they're not putting some logic into the DCs. They're bringing back the AC motors, and this is all for testing purposes. So don't get too excited. Be like, what in the hillbilly beans are you doing? Yeah, I know. This is all kind of. I mean, look at. I don't know if all photo eyes or just photo eyes. I mean, these are LiftMaster ones, Chamberlain, whatever, right? The old school ones, and. They work, I don't remember. I can't remember what the Power Master had on it. I cannot remember. I don't do enough Power Master to always go, oh, I know what the photo eyes look like. But they work. I always know with photo eyes. There was a video out a long time ago, because back when I first started, I had a opener that I for at home use. I rebuilt it. And I remember I was thinking to myself, I thought, I don't want those stinking photo eyes. And so I thought, I'm just going to hot wire it, bypass them. No, you're not. Nope, I couldn't bypass them. So I had to put photo eyes on it. And then I was kind of young and green. And I didn't realize, I don't know why, but just when you're young and dumb, I didn't realize, hey, just stick them together and put them above the opener, or wherever, in the header, whatever you want to do. So I don't know. Things you learn, I guess. What's this thing got? Stop. Okay. There she is. She's got to stop on there. Just face this a little more towards you. Can't play around with it too much. You guys you're on the umbilical cord. You're charging because you guys, your lives, you suck up a lot of juice on the telephone. But anyways, like I said, I'm curious to know if they are bringing back. Like I said, the old logic there, the 5.0, the LiftMaster. That's, what is it, November? Somebody was telling me. Heard from a couple of you guys. I think Tanner was one. There was another one. I can't remember. It was Eric. Freeze was telling me. Can't quite remember. Get this puppy. There we go. I always like they got this little pull it down a little bit like that. Bam. That, get her widened out a little bit. And like I said, I'm not being real picky tonight. Just kind of playing around. This thing is getting this thing back up in working condition. Get you some nice cutters, right? And oh, by the way. What's up? I love it. Evan, what's up? Uncle Dave's here. That's right, Uncle Dave's in the house. I gotta think of a name we gotta come up. I was thinking, I call him. I don't know if Tony's gonna pop on tonight. We should ask Tony if we get a chance. We'll tell Tony, say if does he like Papa Tony, or does he like? I was gonna think, was it Big Daddy Tony? Was that what I was thinking? Big Daddy Tony. I can't remember. I had it earlier in my brain. Papa Tony, Big Daddy Tony. We got to come up with a nickname for him. trying to think of who that one. What was that big? What was that? What do they call that one guy? That drag racer used to be on there. Big Daddy Dave. Big Daddy Dave. Was that what it's called? Is that hot rodder guy? Where do I punch? I want to punch a hole in this. Yeah, I don't really want to break it off yet, since I don't know where it's gonna quite go. It's really important to use those. I used to not do that. I didn't use those. I got some right here. I'll grab one. Let's see here. What are they called? Romax clamps. Romax clamps. Now, what you'll find though, what I've learned, what I do anyways, is they're nice because, you know, once if you peel the top off this thing, which it's probably going to go in the top, so I can do it. Let's do it. It's Monday, right? What the heck, right? Let's get her going. Let's just do it. What the heck? Why not? And welcome, guys. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to also hit the like button. Just helps bring more people in. And then also, if you guys have any questions, anybody that's coming in that's a greenhorn, a newbie, welcome. You're more welcome to ask questions. That's why I do the lives. Lives are just kind of a free-for-all. You got a bunch of great people that come here, and you're more welcome to chime in, ask questions. Don't worry, there's no dumb question because, like I said, Uncle Dave at one time didn't figure out they could just put the photo eyes together, right? I thought you had to hot wire it, and you just put them above the opener. You didn't hear that from me. That's illegal though. Uncle Sam will come find you and he will hunt you down and he will find the crap out of you until you can't. You have no more money, because that's what they always want. They want the money, and Uncle Sam will come get it. I feel a little shaky tonight for some reason. I don't know why. Anywho, so you tighten this down, right? You tighten this down. It's not going to work, though, right? It's not going to be good enough. It still could get pulled out. So what you do, what I do, it's kind of tight. I probably won't do it because it's just a pain. Because I tie it. Maybe I'm gonna. Maybe I just can't help myself. Maybe, oh, man, what am I going to do with myself? This is all going to have to come back apart. Tie a knot in it. That, get it up in there. Bam, there. That ain't going nowhere. That ain't going nowhere. Right? Tighten that down. What's nice about this, though, is it keeps stuff from going in there. Somebody puts a coin up there, screws. I've seen screws. People do. Where's the screws for this thing? These screws, whatever. You know what I mean? Just little screws get stuck in there. You can short out. It's a callback. No good. No good operator. What we got here? What we got? Check out it's kind of weird. I get in like two different worlds here. One, I'm with you guys. For two, it's like I feel like I'm back into the, I'm back in the army here, and I'm back in the trenches, and it's just like go time. I gotta get this, gotta get this thing wired up. Gotta get going here. Get this puppy fired up. Got a customer waiting. Got another job gotta go to. Chop, chop, chop. Chop, chop, chop. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Man, I love these three buttons. I tell you what, I've just really always enjoyed. The only thing I didn't ever like is the fact they sometimes get bound up a little bit and the buttons get stuck. That's always a teaser. But, man, they just always are good, solid, real basic. You swap them out, they wear out. Get the common size nice. Just put the wire anywhere you want. Works nice. What we got here? Let me scoots over here. I have to grab a glass of water or something. I forgot. My cup out here. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Just here to learn. Don't know much, if anything, about commercial operators. Oh, yes. Yes. Stick around. You'll learn something. My understanding is it is Kevin's. Yeah, what he said. My understanding is just temporary. Of course it is. Temporary. So they can address some complaints on the maximum. Of course they are. Evan's got Big Tony. Ooh, Big Tony. We'll have to see what Tony likes sometime. Maybe Tony will jump on. We gotta, like I said, we gotta come up with a name with Tony. Dun, dun, dun. What's it say here? Evan, the eyes were the same. both black wires, whites. He says then there are for wires for the push button, open, close, stop, and common. Yeah, that's pretty much. We use this 4 conductor. I think this is an 18 gauge 4 conductor. Is what we use with a shield. This one don't. Some have a shield. I think you only have to really do a shield if they're doing communication through them. That's what the shield is for. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it costs maybe a little bit more, not that much. We don't really do the shield anymore unless it's communication. Let me see. And it's just on here. It's got open. I know you probably can't see it the best, but right now there's open, terminal. I got close. I got common. I'll hit stop. And remember, stop will make a loop, right? It continuously loop. So the best way I always learned electrical was think of it as a flow of water. So like the stop is always a flow. That way if the wire gets damaged, or if you're working on a job, which you're not technically supposed to do this, but if you hold the stop, or what I've done is put a coin in there. You didn't hear that from me. Put a coin in there. That's supposed to basically kill the operator. I don't know how it works on these new openers, the maximum ones, because I'm assuming maybe they show like a stuck key, or I don't know. Rusty, I figured that would be the same. I have yet to do commercial work. I've only done mainly residential. Nice. Even he'll probably explain most of what would say. He says, just wait till after to see if I have another pointers for you. Yeah, for sure. Like I said, just bring it up. Hit up the comments, man. Like I said, I'm just going to I'm just in my own little world here right now. And what's next? I always do green is open, black is my close. It's easier too if you're on the same page as with one of your installers, because if they're up on the head unit right now, up in the air, they'll wire it the same. And this is just how I've always, like I said, it's just black to close. And like I said, I'm not doing a real thorough job right now. It's kind of, I'm just trying to get her to fire up for us to make sure she's running. Because like I said, I got it running. I did that little short clip on this one. It's running, but I want to make sure it's running again. I'm going to try to stick the rail on it just so it's kind of ready to go. For some reason, like I said, you ever get that where you just get like the weird shakes? It's almost like you almost didn't have no caffeine or need caffeine or something. Just kind of weird like that. Probably because I'm on camera. It's so nerve-wracking. I don't think that's it though, because I really don't mind. What the flippy flops? Plus it would have helped if I gave myself a little bit more extra. There we go. So white to common. Give it the there you go. That all feels good. Give them a little tug. We'll do the red as my stop, because red is danger, red is blood, red is safety. Oh, wow. Hercules did that one. Holy cow. Shoo. The one that was with this opener, it did not survive the outside. It was very, very nasty. Very nasty. If I got it still in the garbage, I might grab it, but it's toast. It's toast. And there you go. She's all wired up. Should I put the cover on? I think I'll put the cover on. I tell you what's always a booger though. Gotta get them to go in there. Boom. Everything felt good when it went together. Buttons feel good. Buttons feel good. Love it. Now, where did the blasted screws go? Because that's what I was just going to talk about. How you lose those screws and you're like done for. So what I typically do is when I tear them apart and I'm out in the field, they go right back in. They go right back in the holes. Because these darn things, they get legs and they run fast. I am not joking. And if you lose these little precious screws, it's just, it's one of those things that like it just shuts the whole operation down. You got to go, hopefully got another wall button. Because I haven't found a solution yet that works really good besides putting some hack screws in there that look like crap. So these ones always work really good. Get them in there, snugged up. Like I said, I'd tighten that up, but I'm not worried right now. This is for entertainment purposes. Tighten her up, right? That just helps keep some of the garbage out of there. A lot of guys conduit too, which is nice and clean. I've done that before for certain jobs if the bid allows it or whatever. Oh, made in China. Imagine that. Huh. So there's that. That's working good. Let's go back over here a little bit. We got to get white to common, right? This is my common terminal. I should have gave myself a little more wire. Just a touch. But you guys should think about it. Like I said, maybe, you know, I don't know if anybody, I don't think anybody in the community deals with PowerMaster, to be honest. I think maybe you guys have come across it, but I don't think any of you guys sell them. Or is there somebody that actually is a distributor of them? I don't even know a distributor. I almost thought about maybe being a distributor of them just because I like the simplicity. I like the simplicity. I like the fact so far it looks like the motors, the circuits, everything's compatible between the two, between a jack shaft and a trolley. So that's kind of nice. And oh, hey, don't forget, if cruising through, whoosh, hit that like button. Just helps bring more like-minded people in, more conversation, more intel, more information. And it's all free of charge. Okay, so these are the photo eyes. What I thought about trying, though, is I haven't done the remotes. I think I got one. I see one. I got to be careful, because I remember when this fires up, this thing's a little... This is the best situation here, if you know what I mean. Let me grab the power pack, and we'll see what we can do. What's up, Mr. Freeze? Says I hate losing those screws. Oh my gosh, isn't it the worst? I mean, it's like getting a sliver in your finger. Let's see what we got. The power pack. Oh my gosh. Needs one more battery though. Needs one more battery. Where'd you go? Don't you know? It's gonna be a little goofy though, because actually, let's see here. I don't know how big the power pack's gonna work. We're gonna see though. It's only got 2 bars. The rest of them probably got 3 or 4. They're fully charged. So we'll check her out. Let's see what the old Milwaukee will do here. Just don't want nothing to get tangled up. That's always the worst. Oh man, prong got bent. It's unacceptable. There's that. Power this thing up. And the last time I cheated, I ended up, I was just touching wires together. It's always, isn't it weird? Like when they're close together like that. Oh, there it goes. It finally cut out. But isn't that weird how they don't cut out? Isn't that always kind of boggled my mind. They work. It's like they're putting off such a hemisphere in there that they won't. That's always weird. Oh, there it goes. See, it went thick enough in my hand. That is weird. I've always had pretty good luck with these photo eyes. I don't know about those new ones, but these have always worked pretty good. I can't say I've ever had a lot of problems with them. Interesting though. Karate chop, nothing. So it's like I was trying to check it out. So now I at least know if I use the thicker in my hand, it should reverse. So that's good. Okay, where are we at? Okay, try not to die. Hold on to her a little bit, just in case you... Nothing there. It must be on the other limit. Perfect. That was open, right? We're on the open. Okay, open's good. Stay put. All right, let's go close. I just want to see if this works. I'll be darned. There it goes. Won't work this way though if it's a mouse. raw power. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I don't feel like I'm a professional when it comes to this, and I don't even know how good the range on these work. If a multi-code's gonna work better. Ah, it's already linked to it. What the heck? Oh, that's right. This one was with it. Second one, obviously, shouldn't be linked to it, but try the second one. Nothing to number 2. Is that a little reverse? There it goes. Huh, interesting. Very interesting. Where is the learn button on this puppy? Hold 2 seconds to change. Change what? Like a RTC2TS. Okay, interesting. Open, close. Auto close. Mid stop. Test mode. I guess I don't really see where they got the learn button on here. I know it's here somewhere. It's gotta be probably. This thing's it's kind of nice too because they do have them on here. The only bad thing is the board is all black, so it's kind of like hard to identify, you know. But they do have it, so at least you can do it up at the, you know, up at the opener. Do your wall button if you're on the ground, whatever. I believe. Here it is. So this is a radio card. Okay. So they do have a radio. Maybe I'll turn it off. So I don't get no pokey pokes. This thing looks like it. So this goes on a couple of terminals. I don't know about that. So is it like you have to pay extra for this little gadoober? And then I don't know how powerful it is, honestly, because you know, if that's the antenna, I mean, I don't know about that. Because then here's the problem. Well, I guess you got the terminals on the outside. You got the 3 terminals on the outside, but how do you do that? Yeah, you'd have to put the receiver out by the. You have to put the receiver out by the, you know, the head unit or something outside in the eave. So that might be kind of problematic with this. You know what I'm saying? Like you got, here's your. So this might be a little bit of problematic for if you wanted to put an extended range, if you're working in a metal building. Because I don't know for sure how good the range is on these things. I just don't know. I don't know if they're extra super powerful and they just blow LiftMaster out of the water, or what the frequencies are. I don't think it says either. Huh. It's kind of weird. Like, I don't know if I like this clip thing here, whatever. Like, how do you... I guess you take the screws apart to get to the battery. I mean, this doesn't want to come off very... I mean, it feels pretty solid. I mean, it's definitely... It's pretty with the chrome. It looks nice to be in your vehicle or a nice work truck or something if you're working in a municipality or something. Buttons feel a little bit small for my liking. I'm still a multi-code guy. I love my multi-codes. And oh, hey, look, we got up to 4 likes. I'll be darned. Don't forget to hit the like button. Cheers. What else we got here? Those screws. The PowerMaster have open close stop buttons on top of board where you can just do a jumper wire, uncommon, stop and run from the board. So that's what I did. I actually had this guy. I was using this guy. I went common, I went to stop, and that's how I was jumping it, just to run it, because I didn't have, you know, I just used those stuff on the board because I don't know, like I said, let me see if I got it. Nothing like digging through the garbage. It's here somewhere. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I found it. This was the one that was with it. Ew. Who was I telling out there? I said, they're going to put me in jail. This is called operator abuse. I said, yeah. I said, I'm good. I said, I don't even want to. I know there's got to be like mud ants or something. It's heavy. And look at there's dirt. So there's dirt in there. And I said, yep, that one's good. Let's just get another one. No good. Da-da-da. Oh. So Eric says, is that motor from a Logic 5? I don't know the answer to that. It's all PowerMaster, you know. But like I've said before, here's the cover. This is what this owner went through. I know. This has been sitting outside. It sat with a bag over it, and it didn't. Time just kept on marching. So yeah, it's not had the best life. But she's alive. You know, she's alive. It needed a changed out a motor. We had a donor. This is what the cover should look like. Right? We got a donor. Beautiful, beautiful. Of course, you know, we got some of the assembled instead of being built in the USA. That's kind of nice. And like I said, supposedly, I can't say for sure, but PowerMaster was the first. It was PowerMaster, then there was LiftMaster. And the covers, I mean, that's why it's like, it makes sense to me that these were basically the first, because these remind me so much of a LiftMaster. You know, limit nuts are a little different, but they got the plate. LiftMaster did a little different plate, but just the basic, like this cover, the screws. I can't say if I remember LiftMaster though having a reset button, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because I've had these trick me before. They go bad. So I don't know. You let me know. Do you like the reset? I'm assuming obviously it's an overload for the motor, so you don't fry the motor. But what gets me is it this one? And both covers, the other one was toast because it got weathered to crap or whatever. Why do they send you another one? Why do they send you two of these? Because as far as I know, it's a, you know, I'm sure that they take so many pops, they get weak, but they send you one in the little bag here. I think this one's, yeah, it's one right here. So what's the deal with that? Why do they send this to you? That seems like, oh, we know this fails. Like, here's another circuit. I mean, now if Genie, well, I think Genie did. They'd send you a little tube fuse, at least one. But man, it wasn't enough for those medium duty openers. Those things are junk. I was guy. He says on the 8-foot Chamberlain I did last week, I noticed that the problem with the new sensor brackets. I thought I had bent the crap out of them when I was clipping them to the track. Yeah, you know, hey, Evan, I'm glad you said something about that, because I just did some yesterday, Sunday. I worked with Caleb on a little job, and I didn't mention nothing in the video, but the metal on that bracket, the operator bracket, it felt so. I ended up through bolting them, or I lagged them, or whatever I call them. I used concrete screws, right? I did them to the concrete. I tell you what, man, like it was not good. Like they took one bump and they flipped over, and like you said, the metals felt so weak. I was like, and I thought the other ones used to be spaced out farther. I could be wrong with that, the old brackets. But what was nice about that is it would have been easier for me to get my screws in and that going into concrete, because I made them sit right on the concrete because the wood, he had outside hookups. So I couldn't mount them to the track. But I'm glad you said something, because I think we're on the same page with the metal is really thin, man. Like it's kind of pathetic. If I don't care for the new brackets with the Uniclip, he says that snaps in. You know, Rusty, I'm still trying to think about that Uniclip. Like, I don't really know what the difference is. I wish I had a new one to an old one. I don't think I got any old brackets that are just sitting around. don't. I really don't carry much of those, but like I said, you know, even the genies, right? That's a lot stronger, man. And the nice part is I can get to it when I'm drilling, you know, doing my stuff on the backside. There's no obstruction. I was fighting that bracket, that LiftMaster bracket. It was a Chamberlain, but you know, this is pretty solid. It's got those little gussets in there. It's pretty solid. It's always questionable. Genies always make me more nervous. With sun, they make me nervous, so I always try to keep them back farther out of that bright sun. The new LiftMasters, I don't know if they have problems. These guys never really gave me too many problems. I mean, you'd have to have one heck of a sun on it to really make them malfunction. But it was always funny when customers would call, I'd get like, you know, it only lasts for like an hour. So by the time I got out there, you know, with the service call, you know, you're out there in the next couple hours or whatever, you know, 2, 3, 4 hours. The darn door works. They're like, well, it didn't work before. And I'm like, well, the sun was probably beaming on that thing. And there's, you know, I think these things get weak also. You know, when they're fresh, don't seem like they matter so much. I know there's a trick, and that's why the new ones, I don't think they say on them, trans. These ones say it? I don't know if these ones say it or not. I always just knew because the way they cut out, the one's ascending and one's, so I always try to put the sending, I think it was ascending on the sunny side, right? So the beam's always sending out because it's whatever's receiving where it's the sun messes them up, it seems like to me. Could be wrong with that. I wish that it has a bracket on it so set and pressure the button of hearing a loud pop. Oh, the brake on it. I wish that it had a brake on it. I know it just kind of drifts. You know, this opener just kind of drifts. You know, brakes are nice though. I do like brakes. They're a nice added feature. You know, to have a brake on a unit. It is nice. It is really nice. What does it say? I don't think you'll be able to resurrect that wall panel. Yeah, she's pretty toast. It's pretty toast. I said, I think I'll just wait. And I thought I was done. But see, you know, I was thinking about it. I was thinking about you guys. And hey, thanks. We got up to 5 likes. Thanks for hitting the like button. But anyways, I was I was thinking about it, and I'm thinking the wall button was all junk that night. I was messing with it, right? And I was thinking to myself, I'm done. I'm done. Like, I'm done until I get a wall button. Like, I can't do nothing. And then I was like, wait. Oh, yes, I can. And I started thinking about it, and I thought, see, what's the maximum, you know, LiftMaster? I thought, now, how are you supposed to do if the wall button's bad, right? You can't do nothing, right? You can't do it up from the head unit, can you? So I was thinking, oh, well, all I got to do is jump it. I still got buttons here. Hey, man, I'm still in business. And that's just the stuff I like, man. I like universal. I like when my truck gets stuck and I got that 4-wheel drive, just the extra one little step just to get me out of that pinch. You know what I mean? It's one of those things, man. Just being up in Michigan, we live out in the woods, man. And there's nothing like when you get stuck on a cold, snowy day and you lock your damn keys in the truck while it's running and you got a dog in there that did it. There's nothing like a back windshield that you can pop open at least, you know, with a screwdriver. I like options, you know, to get in there, get yourself out of a wet situation, get back to the trailer or shack, get yourself warmed up. You know what I mean? I like options. I like options. I felt like at least I had an option here. Reset up to... What's that mean, Kevin? You got resets up to logic 2. What does that mean? What do you mean, Kevin? Talking about this? What you got? Professional door service is in the house. What you got? What you got? The only thing that Chandler did right on those new sensors was fixing the LED lights so it's more clear to a customer. Ooh, that is a good point. I would agree with that. I would agree with that because these were pretty weak. I switched them around for a customer a few days back, whatever, and I was having a heck of a time seeing them. I was like, is that thing on? Is that thing on? So yes, the LEDs are super nice. I'm just bummed. Anything with the new LEDs, what do you call it? Sensors. I'm just bummed that we don't have the clicky click, because the one I did yesterday too, same thing. You cross it, no blinky. I miss the blinky. I really miss it for diagnosing purposes. Let's fix the LED lights to more clear to the customer if there is a obstruction. Yes, agreed. Agreed. What is your plan with this operator? Well, that's a great question. So there might be somebody that needs it. So maybe we're going to get the chance to use it there. I don't really want to say who, because I have certain people that just, you know how it is. Sometimes they just can't handle the truth. But it might get used. And so I wanted to make sure that it was raring to go, that it worked. And honestly, it's just one of those things, even if it just sits on the shelf again, that's fine, because the problem is it was not fine in the condition that it was in. So it was not so healthy. I better take the wire off too. It's not in there the right way. Take the whip off, right? Do the Maximums, LiftMaster, they come with whips on them now? Or you still gotta provide a whip? These whips can kind of get expensive. I went to an Ace Hardware. This is quite a few years ago. And I don't have a flathead, but I do with the Leatherman. I don't know how. Oh yeah, I got my tool stuff on me still. Tell you what, man, this Leatherman. This has been a slick one. I don't even know if this is like an antique. What is this? Does this got a certain model on it? Tell you what, this has been a great Leatherman. I don't know, but it's a slimmer design. I tell you what, this thing, when you're up on a ladder, you just don't want to get back down, or just like right now, I need a little screwdriver. And that's what I like about this one. It's got one in it. Darn camera, sorry, wasn't paying attention. It's got that. Just comes in so handy. So handy. Can't even describe how handy it comes in. This thing has saved me so many trips walking up and down a ladder. It's a lifesaver. I wear it every day. Every day. Even if I'm working, not working, pretty much all the time. Only time unless it's like a family event, going to movies or something like that. Man, I wish I knew what model this is. Regular, it says TM. Was it 1325473? I don't know what model it is, but this thing's been great. It's I like it because it's slim. It fits. So when I'm sitting down in the truck, it's not too bulky. I'd probably take a bulky one if I had to. I mean, I'd take anything. It's better than nothing. Let's see if I can get the rail. I kind of bolt up here, so I might be kind of hit and miss. We'll see here. Let's see. I might even have to grab. Just hanging out. We're just hanging out. Got any questions or whatever? Fire away. Reset button was on LiftMaster. Oh, okay. Up to Logic 2. Logic 3 and above, it was eliminated. So Kevin. I love it. I love it. So Kevin's got it there. He says, no whips. He says, still got to buy your own. God darn it. So I don't know if a lot of you guys. So a lot of times we always would cut them off. Old garage door openers, the Resis. This one's a little long, so I'm assuming this was from something else I must have had. But that's where I got a lot of them. But anyways, I didn't have one on a truck one day. I forget, we had just enough. I think we were doing a 3-stall commercial job away from town a little bit, right? Too far away. One of those jobs, too far away. And so I had to go into the Ace Hardware, and I was like, dude, we gotta buy some whips. And I think it was the end of the day, so I was just gonna buy some instead of, when you're hustling, I didn't have time to really go even in the dumpster and cut some off, or even know if there was some there. So I was like, we're just gonna stop at the Ace and buy like 3 of them or whatever it was. And they were like $15 or $18. And I about pooped myself. I said, oh, the hell with that. I said, I'm not giving them $15, $18 for these whips. I said, I said, I'll go take an appliance at home or something, chop it up. They're probably more now. They get you. Reset button. That's interesting, though, about that logic. So, I mean, I think I forgot. I don't know if I asked or not. I was going to ask Kevin, so do you think were these a good thing? Were these a good thing or a bad thing? Was this another cost savings? You know, because I'm assuming this protects the motor, right? And I've had a few where the motor get locked up and it's just sitting there humming away, right? And you're like, yeah, that motor's probably shot. You know what I mean? So my guess is, you know, and the fact that even PowerMaster gives you an extra one, like I said, I don't know if it's a good thing, bad thing, but it's nice they give you one, right? It's not like they're going, well, this costs us 20 cents or 50 cents or whatever it is. We're not including that because we can save. So it's nice that it's there, but it just makes me wonder. Says nice now though. He says you trip the force, opener will beep and flash the lights. What you got, Evan? Evan, what you got by that? What you mean? What you got? Says it's nice now though. If you trip the force, oh, the force. Okay, I haven't messed with the force. I didn't know the force. If you trip the force, the opener will beep and flash the lights. Oh, I might have to try that out. I didn't know the force. Anybody else confirm that? I didn't know the force. I believe Evan, but I just want to make sure I hear it from a couple other that's true. Because I'll probably end up doing it. Try it out at least. Alright, let's see here. Don't worry, I'm still working. You guys just enjoy your drinks. Gotta get this long rail at some point. Let's see this thing. No whips. That's what he says. Hey, we got up to 7 likes, by the way. That's nice. That's always nice. Turn that thing off or turn that thing off? Now, what did I do with the bolts? Where are the bolts? Oh, this might be interesting for somebody too, right? Here's I don't know. Oh, you can see how long it's been out there. Look how green it is. This is the PowerMaster. It's kind of primitive, but I guess it works. I mean, how much do you use a disconnect? They're gonna wear that out, but it's got a little spring. Ooh, those look like those tear you up. Gnarly, man. I guess if you're in a bad area, keep this around, right? Instead of having a bat, keep the J-arm around. Whack somebody over the head with that. They're not gonna be too happy. Just got your normal. I don't know if those were supposed to be like that, but that's how it got done back in the day. J-arm, pretty primitive. Got the J to her. No rounded corners, nothing fancy, right? Can't get that. Rounded corners would be a little more nicer, depending on the bracket. Huh. Anywho, stick around. I'm gonna grab water real quick. We need PowerMaster. PowerMaster needs to send me a cup. PowerMaster, you got any cups out there? Come on. We need a PowerMaster cup. What else we got here? Professional door service. I love it. It says, yes, I installed a new Chamberlain at my house, and it does beep and flash. Lights on, the force is tripped. Interesting. So is it still, I'm assuming it still does the, is it a 2x4 basically you're sticking under there and that'll trip it still the same way? Dun-dun-dun-dun. Hey, we got up to 8 likes too. Thanks for the likes. Like I said, cruising through, whatever, just hit the like button. Helps bring more friendly people in. It says, yeah, they keep the motor from running too long. That function was changed to a maximum run timer on Logic 3 and 5 boards. You need to program it though. Damn, I don't even know if I knew that. They could program it on there. I don't know. I didn't know they had the run timers on them. Probably burning them up. So you need that fuse for dum-dums like me. Let's see here. What are we gonna do? Ooh, man. Da-da-da. Logic 5s. Anything else out there? Anybody got for how are these what other kind of problems anybody having? Have any problems with these residential ones? Like are the RPM sensors still a problem with the Genies right now that people are getting? I didn't realize Genie made such a really cheap product with those buttons. Somebody had a video out there, and man, it was gnarly. Those buttons on there get stuck. I think it's the ones probably maybe from like Home Depot. It's a black head unit. Eric's got, he says, his maximums, he says, are confusing. Yeah. Maybe Rusty would know. Maybe Rusty would know this. Maybe anybody else. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Rusty don't really deal. I don't know if Rusty deals with like the Genies and stuff like that. But Cap told me they're quite a bit more money. And I just, like, how much more money are we talking? We're talking 100, 200, 500, 600? I don't know. I should call them up and see who, get some prices on them. Says, yeah, the 2x4 trick still works. However, I've noticed with these new boards, the electric force seems to be more sensitive than the old yellow learn buttons. Has had anyone else seen that? So I'm trying to think. So it says, yeah, 2x4 still works. I've noticed these new boards, electric force. Electric force. You talking like when it's in motion? Is that when you're having, like, it's just more sensitive when it hits things? Because I don't know if anybody's ever commented on, like, isn't it supposed to, like, relearn its forces every, 3 or 6 or 10 cycles? I don't know what it is. I gotta find some gloves. Gotta touch a nasty raven. I don't know. It's like everything for garage door openers is in question for me right now. Who can do it, Mercury? It's like the country song, the thunder rolls and the lightning strikes. Ugh. If only we had a camera crew. You guys could just maybe hit that like button. Maybe if we got up to 30 likes, I can get a camera crew. Maybe. The old jerseys. Can't beat some old jerseys. They just never let you down. Not the best for putting in garage doors. I know that, unless it's extremely cold. Because I'm used to, I think what I would do, oh yeah, that's what I used to do. Back when it was really cold, what I would do is I'd nip off the fingers of them. And then I actually put those rubber gloves. I like the Gorilla ones or something similar. The Gorilla ones get kind of pricey. But just this extra fur on here, man, it's amazing how to keep your hands warm in the wintertime. Easy. Easy, Betsy. Bolts. Bolts and bolts and bolts. Let's see here. What we got? Upload a video of the buttons on the Genies. That is the ones, the Home Depot ones. Yeah, you know what? You're probably right. I bet it was SOS. Sometimes I never know, and maybe somebody, maybe SOS can comment too. I love him like a brother, but I don't know I don't know if he's, I don't know if he's always, if he gives, how do I say it? I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't know, like with me, I'm going to tell you flat out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to tell you flat out a lot of stuff. And so I don't know if, I don't know. I don't want to say anything. Like I said, he's a good dude. He's really good at his stuff, man. He's smart. He's a smart dude. But like I said, sometimes I just never know if certain things are persuaded at all for certain things. I don't know. But he's got a hell of a lot of information, I'll tell you that. Did a good job. I'm glad to, I'm definitely proud to call him my friend. He's a good dude. Hopefully we get to meet up. I don't know when we have another IDA show. Where's it going to be? Anybody know when the next IDA show is going to be? Should do like a meetup or something. Oh, let me jump on the other side. I can't see you. Give me a second to get a slurp. Slip of that genie water. Son of a biscuit. Da-da. Da-da. Too bad for it. Yep, Rusty says, he says, Dave, I don't deal with the genie because every experience I've had has been terrible on residential openers and never wanted to touch genie commercial openers. Just stick to LiftMaster. Hey, like I said, it's always, you know how it is. I'm always never here to convince anybody. And it's like one of those things, if they work good for Rusty, hey man, that's all that matters. As long as he's don't have callbacks, that's the big thing. You know what I mean? Now, I just wonder if, like I said, the genies, those RPM sensors are still having issues. Because like I said, I know Cap's moving over to LiftMaster on those, but he won't give up the the commercial ones. I had the models down. I put them down. It's like the CR something CXJ and the CX something T. That's their top of the line. Like I said, and it's pretty funny that he goes, I've never replaced a circuit board in one of them. And I said, heck, I never have either. So, and that's out of at least over, gosh, I don't know how many openers, over 300, 500 plus, you know what I mean? Just, I don't know. They work. So I saw. Says Kevin. Okay, so Kevin had to turn the dial to program, hit MRT button. Open LED would flash, run in a couple opener cycles to set timer. Back B2. Shouldn't let motor run more than 20 seconds past cycle. Ooh, that's good, man. That's good, man. I really appreciate you sharing that, Kevin, because I wasn't doing that. I ain't gonna lie. So I wonder what they were set to from the factory. For how long? Now I can't remember any of the. I can't say I remember any of the new ones frying, but I know there were some old ones, like the Logic stuff. Maybe it's because we jumpered them, got rid of the fuse or something. I don't know. There you go. Eric Scott. He says I'll hold the camera and read the comments. Awesome. It says things are a bit more complex in California. Yeah. I do not doubt that. I do not doubt that one bit. I do not. Like I said, still waiting for Eric to get us a nice residential opener built. Like I said, I think we're just gonna have to refurbish the old ones. That's just my feeling. Because, so I always kind of like it because I get some of you guys that are sending me stuff and you're talking about, how you fixed an opener, kept it alive, an old one, and it's like, yeah, I like that because, I don't know, man, this new stuff is getting a little squirrely. A little squirrely, in my opinion. Oh, but if anybody thinks of, too, I was just thinking of, if anybody thinks of the IDA Expo, get in there, little bugger. Or if anybody can Google it. What's going on here? First day problems again. Come on. This one's being a little booger here. There she goes. There she goes. I don't get my hands dirty. Now, what do we have for wrenches? No, there's not. There we go. There we go. Look at that shaft. Look how rusty that thing is. One of these was spinning. I got it free. I think everything's rolling now. So I was kind of like, well, I guess in this situation, I'm kind of glad they're not rolling bearings. because I don't think they would have made it. She runs pretty good. It's got a hell of a belt on it too. I think LiftMaster went to these finally where they got the grooves in them. Got a nice belt on it. Let's see. What do we need next? We need a wrench. I don't know if I got some left out. Or what do we got here? What do we got? 1Z, 2Z, 3Z? No, nothing there. I'll grab one. I will grab one. Stand by, Captain. Using some primitive tools. Nothing like living on the edge again. Feeling like a young kid. Like I said, I still got all the good stuff out of it. Tip it up so it's kind of flush. I feel like it should. What do I tip it up with? Oh my god, ooh, piece of junk. Don't be saying use that Power Master. This is history right here. That didn't work very good. If I had that camera person, I just had that camera person. There's gotta be something. Just gotta find something. Piece of garbage or something. Maybe. Nice. There, I can live with that. I can live with that because it's going to wiggle its way. That all feels good. Is it 9? It's 9. It's 9/16. What else you guys got out there? What you working on? What other kind of problems? Oh. So for one, I know Rusty, he says he don't use a Genie, which is fine. But my thing is, I'm wondering about the price. If anybody has an idea on the price, like I said, I'll have to look it up at some point and find out. And obviously, price isn't always everything. Like I said, these are when the gear wrenches were good. I guess still, this one's still, it's got a little hiccup in there, but this one, man, I know when it's got orange on it. This was the very first tools in their trucks. We had orange tape we had on them. That was basically, I knew that was back when we had 2 trucks. I had my business partner and I had me, and he always put orange on his, so I got his wrench. So this thing's been around since basically probably 2006, 7, 8, latest. Like I said, it's not like the new one though. I bought a brand new set, man. It busted apart on me. Thought that was kind of baloney. Oh, see, she's locked up. She's not ratcheting. Oh, there she goes. It's hard to get rid of the ones that got orange tape. Bring back some good old memories. Oh, locked up again. There we go. Now we got a rail. Got a 14-foot rail on there, honestly. All right, let me pop over there for a second. Take a breather. Working hard on those nights, you know what I'm saying? What you got? What you got? Da-da-da. So Eric says things are a bit more complex in California. Thinks it's 90 seconds from factory. I think it's 90 seconds. It was 90 seconds. Gosh, it don't seem. Maybe. Door, I'm trying to think. Running. Yeah, I guess 90 seconds. Probably okay. Maybe. I was just thinking in my head going 90 seconds, that ain't long enough, but it probably is. Probably takes, what, 30 to 45 for normal door to travel. Eric says, you got to get one of those challengers in the dumpsters going again. Yeah, I was thinking about that this evening. I wonder if the scrap has come by yet and taken it away. I was kind of curious. I'm not over at the shop, so I can't really look. I've been thinking about, I was just curious because it's kind of funny, but Eric, you always kind of inspired me because I'm kind of always like, what's in the dumpster? I wonder what's in the dumpster. It's like kind of like a little treasure hole because, you know, back in the day when I touched everything, you know, hey, we got 11 likes too. Thank you guys for the likes. You know, I used to touch everything, so I knew everything. You know, now it's like a little honey pot. You go over there and you're like, ooh, what's this? You know, I wonder what the story is on this one. It's kind of cool. Rusty says, what are you looking for a price on, Dave? I missed that. So I guess what I'm kind of curious is the maximum LiftMaster, like a J series, to a J series like Genie. But like I said, I don't know if you can get, you know, if you don't deal with the Genie, you probably don't really have pricing on it possibly. But Cap was telling me that they're quite a bit more. That's what he's telling me. I don't know what they are. I don't know if we're talking like $100. We're talking 50. We're talking 200, 300, 600. Or like even if you use a LiftMaster, right, the Logic 5. So what's a Logic 5J, let's say, to a maximum comparable, you know, in power and everything? I mean, what's the price difference? I mean, we're talking 50, 60 bucks or... Man. I think maximum, I always looking... He says, I'm always looking in the dumpsters. You a dumpster diver? You a dumpster diver? Dumpsters are fun, man. I like looking in the dumpsters too. It's all kinds of goodies, but you run out of space. Like I said, you get too much stuff. Let's see what we got here. Come on, Mr. Shane. Come this way. Oh, man. It'll get raveled up on me. There we go. There we go. It'd be nice. This chain's gonna need a little oil. This is what they use. For their adjuster. You can do it. Back into it. Right? It's a lot more relaxing. You know, when I got the confidence and the blessing of garage door guys, I can tell you that, instead of a customer sitting there going, when are you going to get it done? We got to get trucks in here. Yeah, I know. I'm going as fast as I can. Adios, customers. Oh. There we go. There we go. We're looking good. We're looking good. Got her on there to pull her locked in. I love it. I love it. I want some more of it. Oh, goodness. Come over on the other side. So what you got? This is what you got? I'm debating whether to buy a LiftMaster 3265 with a broken sprocket on Facebook Marketplace, replacing the gear kit. It's only $10 with the rail and everything. Dude, what a steal! That's a steal. So Evan, would you like fix it and then try to resell it? Because I thought about kind of doing that. That sounds kind of fun. Because I have a soft spot for like the, you know, like I like the 3265 and those were good openers, they were solid. But are you gonna like just resell it, or do you install it? Because I feel like I'd rather install it. So if it started glitching out, because I feel like the customer could mess it up. Does that sound right? Like they're gonna like smash the rail into something, the trolley, and and then they're gonna be like, this thing you sold me is junk. And the problem is, then how much do you sell it for? Because I see them all the time on Marketplace. Like people are selling for like 150, and I'm like 150. I'm like, I don't know about that. I'm like, well, it's actually probably a better opener, but the average Joe don't know that. Last time I priced a 1 horsepower Rusty's guy, says Jack Shift LiftMaster to maximum. It was 250 to 300 difference. Okay. That's a little bit of chunk of change. Thank you for that, Rusty. LiftMaster Evan, he says, when are you gonna get it done, Dave? It's supposed to hail soon. Holy cow, is it really? And my 200K electric hammer is outside. Oh, no way. Is it at the job site? Dang. Dude, that sucks, man. You got tools. That's okay. I got gypped out of a tape measure yesterday. I know it's not near as much as an electric hammer, but Mr. Caleb got mine. He took a picture. It was kind of funny. He's like, I got you. It all started because I got a wrench. I got an adjustable wrench from my dad. I was working with him. We were doing something up north. And I pocketed that by accident. So I got that. Sorry, Dad. I'll give it back. And so it started with him. And then, what was it? Caleb got my tape measure. And then I got the customer's electrical tape. So I don't know who's lose. I guess the customer and my dad. Partially me, because I want my tape measure back. Tape measure like pride and joy around here. It seems like you're always doing the Houdini. Dave, that was a 3280 belt drive. I sent you a photo of the other night. I'm gonna resell it for $750 installed. Dang, nice. Anyone remember? So Rusty, oh that's right, you sent me that one. Dude, that was amazing. And maybe Eric or somebody else on here could chime in on that. But so this is a great topic. So I'm kind of glad Rusty said something about this. So my theory is, now it's weird. I wish we had the picture we could show on this live. No, by the way, we got 11 likes. Thank you for the likes. If you haven't hit the like button, just hit the like button. Just helps bring more people and it's fun. And anywho, so anyways, Rusty sends me a picture and it looks like a different grease. It actually looks like a better compound. It looks like a better product, right? That's inside the gear of a belt drive opener. Now, I think I've only ever changed the gear in maybe two the most belt drives in my whole career. Chain drives, done a hell of a lot of those. Anywhere between, they get 8, 10, 15 years old. The chain drives they're done for. And the gears inside, they tear up, right? They get the snowflakes is what we call them. And so my theory, rocket constantly, that chain's constantly, it's like an impact hammer on it. But the grease that was on it looked, so I don't know if there was a better grease they could have used. I always wanted to know, like, do it for a personal experience. I always wanted to try my own and just grease it every 5 years or something of that nature. Take the cover off, grease it, and see if I can make it last 20, 30 years. But never got around to it. But yeah. So let me know if you guys have any theories on. Like I said, I always figured the belt, the static energy, and the smoothness of it is what always kept the gears more alive. Or if somebody knows that it's the grease they use differently, that might be the case too. I don't know. It is plastic on plastic still, but my theory always was the chain is chattering away, pump, 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 as it's turning, and that's always like a crushing impact on it down in there. Dun, dun, dun. So, anyone remember the commercials with the chain and cable? Who made those? Ooh, I don't know if I remember seeing something like that or not. What's up, kitty? Says, yeah, I'd probably, Evan says, yeah, I'd probably install it at a discounted, although I'd probably replace everything I could, even if it still worked. I'm just curious, Evan, what do you mean by replace? Let me know in the comments. I'm gonna straighten out this chain just a little bit, so I'm not going nowhere. I'm right here. I'm just curious of what maybe you'll be able to still hear me if I'm yakky yak. I'm talking about like photo eyes, I'm talking wall buttons, just because that stuff's all worn out. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Let's get this. Come here, chain. Come here, you chain. Yeah, you never know. You might be onto something, though. Like I said, if you know some of that old stuff, because I don't know. I think the older ones are better. Even the LiftMasters, the standard ones, you know, with the old plastic gears inside, I feel like those are better. I still miss the mechanical limits. I really like mechanical limits. Camera person. What size does Power Master take? Does it take 9 or does it take half? We're tightening up the chain. What does it take? Guess we could take both. What do we got here? Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dang, I wish I would have taken all my stuff off. I could have still ran this thing. It's got to be fine. The chain's a little crusty. I can spray that when it's in the field. Spray it. It's rusty crusty. Yeah. What you got? Yeah, probably discount. Worked everything. It says on the belt drives, the belts take more damage because it's flexible. The chain drives are more direct, so all the pressure is on the sprocket and gear. And gear kit. Yeah, that makes sense. That's kind of always been my theory. You know, when I used to, I would sell them to customers, you know, and tell them, say, look, if you go, you know, especially if it's like a 7-foot. Oh, this one. You guys are gonna have to stick around. There's gonna be a video about it. We did a belt drive 10-foot. It worked, but yeah, we ran out of some angle, and so we just hung it with one. I mean, we oh man, we bunch of rednecks. Maybe I'll have some stories on that one. We'll see. But yeah, I always would tell the customers, especially 7-foot, right? 7-foot was golden. I always tell them, you know, it's forever. It's smooth, you know, especially if they had a room or something above, a sleeping quarters, stuff like that. Eric, that might have been overhead door. I'm not quite sure. That's what professional door service has got. I was thinking it was overhead, he says, or the All-Matic. Yeah, Eric, if you come across a picture of it, send it to me, because I don't quite think, I feel like I've seen one before, but it's just not coming right to my head. Kevin says he's also thinking overhead, so it's probably overhead. Overhead had the good stuff, the chain/cable. I don't know if it was any good. If it was a good opener or not, honestly. It kind of reminds me of the Resis, right? The Resis, I tell you what, if you ever get the Resis, Don't ever screw with. If the cable breaks, either you better have another cable, which is not. I just replace the opener. It's I fought one so many times trying to save the customer money. I think what it was, I remember I had a chain, and the chain might have been for a bigger opener, like an 8-foot, and this was a 7-foot, or something goofy. I can't remember. But I know I got it on there. I got it fixed. Oh, I think maybe I extended it or shortened it. I don't remember. But they had it down calibrated so good that when it wrapped that chain around, it was going into the cable. And I was so mad. I spent so much time swedging it, recutting it, getting it to work. I felt such like a a man, let's say. I felt like a man. I got this thing working. I saved the customer all kinds of money. And it blew up right in my face. I mean, so I always told myself, that chain, cable, it's not worth the time, the energy, the resources to go, find one. It's just, there's other things that are going to be shot too. Pulleys, I'm replacing an opener. Not even screwing around with it. They should have done a full chain from the get-go. I was referring to rebuilding. It says I was referring to rebuilding the 3265 with the broken sprocket, changing the board and capacitor as well as the broken sprocket, and provide a box of the nubby sensors. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could. I mean, I don't know. For me, I'd rather probably just sell it at a discount. The customer understands to get a discount. There's basically no warranty, and roll with it. I'd probably run it a good handful of times when you're there with a load on it. But I don't know. I don't remember capacitors ever being a big problem with them. It's always the sprocket, right? The sprocket was always the weakest point in those things. Now, I learned the hard way not to change out just the gear. Maybe guys, I got one here. I think. Let me see. I used to just change out the gears. And this was heaven, right? When you had this, if you had to change out those gears, this thing worked out great. But I think the only thing, okay, so here's what it is. It's coming to me now. This is why I would still carry this, because the belt drive LiftMasters, residential, would be screwy sometimes, right? So I didn't always have the belt drive sprocket. And like I said, I hardly did ever any, but it just, I did ever carry, they had 2 different sizes, maybe even 3, I can't remember. This thing would just get me out of a pickle that I could change just that big gear. Because when you're trying to hammer out that dowel pin, it's a real booger if you don't have this little jig. So this worked out really good. So I always kept this on the truck, and then that way what I'd do is I'd steal one from a chain sprocket, put it on, because normally on the belt ones, they normally never tore up the top. I don't think I've ever had one that tore up the top. I had one that, a couple of them, like I said, tore up the gears, or something happened, like it slammed itself, something goofy, I can't remember. So I kept this. I always had chain sprocket, the whole assemblies, because I kind of thought, well, I could save money. Like I can charge the customer more just for doing the plastic gear. But what I learned is typically, maybe 7 times out of 10, the top of the sprocket was bad. You know what I mean? Let me see if I got that. This guy. I actually got one. Open her up. Ah, the good old days. But this guy, it must be a different material. I'm assuming so because, and even the sales guy one time told me from LiftMaster, he was like, because I used to change these out. That was kind of stupid, in my opinion, because these things never went bad. Unless something happened where you could see they actually had physical damage to them, then you had to change it out. But it's so much easier to pop the screws off, pop that out, put a whole new one in. But the problem was this piece up here, this little, not a bearing, it's just a sleeve or whatever, normally gets bad. So without changing this whole assembly, that sprocket will start tipping. right? And you'll throw the chain off. I've had that before. Like that's a really like a rookie mistake. Like if you see a sagging chain on a residential one and you go, ooh, you know, I'm going to be a nice guy and I'm going to fix that for the customer. And you go tighten that up and you don't pay attention what that sprocket's doing because it'll tip on you. You know, this whole piece will be worn out. It'll tip a day or something. Might be the same day. I've had it on myself. It flung the chain and then, you know, I was like, oh my God, what did I do? You know, it threw the chain off. You know, then I've had it before where these are sheared off. You know, that's happened before. It just turns into a beautiful machined. And this piece is broke right off. So I found it always so much more beneficial just to change out this whole thing versus just changing this piece because this has already got wear on it up here. What's weird, the theory is, though, is how they don't ever... and then I did learn from another installer. Like, I don't even use these. I never use these. These other parts, they just go in the garbage. You know, they give the other stuff to, you know, do all kinds of stuff, but I don't do that. But I did learn from another guy. I never did it. I always did it, but we had a customer that bought one of these from us, and they installed it, and I mean, it was like, I think a week later or something, it got burned up. They brought it back, it's all chewed up. He's like, that thing you sold me is no good. And the guy that was working there at the time, John, he was like, if you don't put grease on there, he's like, it'll do that. He goes, ask me how I know. He goes, I did it one time. He said, it chewed it up right away. And I was like, really? I was like, great. So this customer, so we warranted it out basically, but they had to tell the customer, like, make sure you use the grease, you know? So that was kind of a bummer because we ate it. But you just do what you do sometimes. This one I had to steal a little grease. I was working on one. So that's why I always kept the kit, because that way I can, you know, there's plenty of grease on here for this time, for this thing when it goes ever installed. But I opened up the cover. It looked mint in there when I worked on. You'll see the video on it sometime here when I get time to edit it. Editing videos aren't fun. Let's see how this thing still works, right? Goes right in there. Bada bing, bada boom. See, and then you got a nice little jig right there to hammer on. Get yourself a punch. Pow, 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 pow. You know, but I tell you what, if you don't have this jig, you don't think it's that big a deal to, oh, I'll just put it on my tailgate, my truck, and stuff like that. No, it's kind of a pain. You don't have this jig, especially getting those dowel pins and stuff in there. But I was changing these out for a while, and then I was realizing these aren't doing so hot. So let's just change out the whole thing. It's easier, quicker, faster. I always put a little grease on this thing too. I don't know if they come like that from the factory, greased or not, but I just do it. I try to grease everything. I grease even the limits, the travelers, just to, you know, I figure if it's a moving part, I'll put a little grease on it. Find the hole, Dave. Yeah, I know. No jokes. There we go. But this thing, like I said, it definitely feels different, has a different color to it. Never, ever had, maybe 1, 2 out of the hundreds and hundreds of these I've done, you know, and people would always go, well, should I just replace it? I'd be like, I'd just tell them, say, honestly. I said, if it was mine, I said, I replaced that gear. I said, you already got the remotes? I said, you got remotes. That was the first thing I asked the lady that the hers wasn't working. She wanted me to change it out. And I said, you got remotes for this thing? She goes, well, yeah, I got a universal one. I said, honestly, I'd try to keep the old one going. I said, let's try it. And I said, if it fails, I said, and we're having problems, well, we got one sitting there. So we'll swap it out. Da, 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 da. I was referring to, got any openers laying around? I don't think so. Not any Resis. Just this Power Master right now. This is the only one I've been just kind of playing around with. I don't have any, I don't think I got any Resis. Says a good tip for the this gear kit is to run in and out a few times before you install it. It says that way it's easier to put them in first because they don't come with threads. That is true. They are tough. They are tough. Let me grab. I think it was so. Basically, I always used, I don't know what you guys use, but I use always, you can use a screw gun too, I guess, but I always use the universal screwdriver as my backup. It's a little bulky, but it gets you out of a pinch. And then you got to have, what is the 5/16 wrench for that one goofy one in the back. That's always worked out really good. But yeah, I definitely agree with Rusty. That's a good idea because I mean, I normally I don't do it, so I just sit there and bear it. You know, try, you know, they're tough, man. They are tough. Professional door service. What's the guy? So our place placed a LiftMaster 2255. Replaced a LiftMaster. Okay, due to bad sprocket. With a used 3265 that I had. A year later, the 8365 sprocket went out too. Sorry about that. We're getting 5G in the area. That's why. Well, I don't know how much longer we'll be able to keep the live. The darn thing keeps glitching. But I don't put a kit, but I don't install the worm gear. That's right. That's right, Eric. The worm gear is a lot of extra work, man. I used to do it, you know, thinking I was like, you know, doing a good service, and you know, I'd put in all these little bearings and stuff. It's just nah. It's just not worth it. Like I said, the other stuff's normally good. Spray a little oil or something on it. That stuff barely. I mean, I've never had this other stuff fail. It's always this whole sprocket. You know what I mean? It's just all right there. It's all right there. Rusty says, yeah, he says, in my experience, you don't need to change the worm gear out. Just make sure to scrape it clean. Yeah, like I said, the LiftMaster guy told me, the sales guy told me that this was made to fail. This was a different material. So he made it sound like, he's like, you know, I think that's what got me not to do it, because he's like, you don't need to change that worm gear. He's like, have you ever seen one go bad? And I'm like, not really, no. And he's like, that's because it's different material. He's like, just change out the assembly, you know. And I'm like, oh, okay. He says, I hate that. He says, Goofy one. He said, that is my least favorite part of replacing a gear kit. He says, it is me, or is 5G worse than 4G? Dude, man. Eric, man, you must be a brother from a different mother, because I'm telling you, man, you're the only one that said something about it. Because I've been fighting it, man. The first time I had 5G was over at a gate job I was doing, and I was trying to download a video. I was trying to do some certain things, and I mean, I'm just struggling with it, man. And every time, even if I'm doing a live, if I'm doing stuff, if I'm trying to stream stuff, watch a video on YouTube or something in 5G, it's always worse, way worse than 4G, or at least LTE or 4G. Every time I see 5G, I go, well, there goes my experience. I don't know what it is. There's a video. If I come across it, Eric, I'll try to send it to you. There's a video explaining about the failures of 4 or 5G, what happened. I don't know. Dave, Rusty's guy says, I've changed so many gear kits. Started the time myself. He says, my record, 11 minutes. Nice. From the time I undo the chain until I open and runs again. Nice. Rusty, have you ever, or has anybody ever pinched a wire? You know what wire I'm talking about? You ever pinch the wire and it starts shorting out? It'll either like pop the fuse or the opener won't run. There's a white wire. I think there's a white wire that sticks right kind of in the way, and you can pinch it between the housings. Done that a couple times. Learned to make sure the wires are out of the way. I forget how it went, because if it comes down the top, maybe it just got sucked up in there. But anyways, I remember one time I did one, and it was like it popped the fuse or something. I'm like, whoa, my God, sparks coming out of it. I'm like, what the heck's going on with this thing? Me and my friend always have issues, Eric says, with 5G. Like I said, I've said it on multiple videos, every time I come across it. And like I said, I've had nobody just go, man, I've had problems with 5G too. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, am I the only one? Like, it's just, I don't know. And the problem is it's not even in a certain area. You know, it'd be different if I'm like, okay, maybe in a busy area, or I'm like in an arena. It's just every time I come across it, I just go, I don't know if I can depend on it. Like I said, I even tried to do live streams with it, and it normally fails. It fails me, like, all the time. I have to, like, hope to find a spot that has LTE. So I'm not even sure if the gear was stripped on that Quantum. He said I ripped out. He said I just couldn't get the stupid trolley back together. On the Quantum drive, black wire. It might be a black wire. You might be right. I can't remember if it's black, white, or purple or what it is, but there's a wire in there. That thing's just in the sweet spot, and you'll pinch that son of a biscuit, and there you go. All of a sudden something pops. Yeah, I think I've even had to cut it before because I made such a wire nut it back together. Evan's got maybe Canadian 5G is better. Says I haven't had any issues with home Wi-Fi whenever we try to use our pirated cable TV. That's awesome. Let's see what this thing's doing for power. Early in my garage door career, I made that mistake. Popped the breaker twice. Okay, so it pops. I remember it'll arc. It makes not a good noise, that's for sure. Twice I had to bring the opener home. My dad, who owns the business, is the garage door master, figured out that I pinched the wire. I know, man. It's one of those things. It's funny because it really confused me. I was like, what the heck, man? This thing worked. It was running. It's just obviously it's not moving. And I was like, what happened? What changed? And I don't even remember how I found it, but I found it. And I was like, oh, it's like I got a pinched wire in here. How'd that happen? Got to be a little more careful, Dave. Says rookie mistake. Made that one and never greased the gear one time. That's how you get good as you guys is make all the small mistakes early on. You just keep plugging away. Yeah, that's the truth, man. Like, I don't think I ever not greased one of these. I don't know why. Maybe because I always thought there was grease on them. So I don't think I did that. I don't think I've ever not greased one. But like I said, I remember that customer that brought back one, and then the technician guy told me, he goes, I know how that happened. And I'm like, how's that? He goes, you didn't grease it. I said, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, I've done it. And I was like, huh. That's one thing I just never did. I don't remember that, ever having that issue, but I definitely remember the wire being pinched. That was a booger. Or what happens a lot of times too, if you drop the screw, and you ain't got no backup ones, you drop it and it goes down the drain. There's a couple out there that I've installed that only has 2 in this upper housing and not 3. Eric says, I like the MVP. He says it's a belt that goes goes out instead of on the holes, let's say, of the 2-hole gear kit. Just drop the case and put a belt. Yeah, the old belt ones. And put the case back on, and there you go. It's only 4 screws. Yeah, we gotten away from a lot of the belt ones. That's for sure. That's too much money. That's too much money. That costs too much money. Too much money. Well, if you guys got anything else, like I said, you got any questions or whatever, throw it up there. Otherwise, I'll probably cut off. Try to make it an early-ish night. Get some sleep. I got a few YouTube videos I might want to try to check out there, see what's going on. Surprised we didn't get Big Daddy Tony on here. He must be out doing something. It's past 9 o'clock. Wifey should be asleep. He's probably in his vibrating chair. I know. Maybe I have to shoot him a text, wake him up. Maybe he's taking a nap. Might have had a hard day. You never know. But like I said, I gotta get this. I'm hoping. Well, I don't know if we're gonna get any rain, but I mean, a little more rain couldn't hurt this thing, right? Well, I'm definitely gonna cover it up if I throw it out. I don't know. We'll see. If I make a opener, it's going to be a V belt instead. He says, I gotta send you a video. Yeah, man, send me a video of it. Like I said, I think you should just refurbish. You should just be refurbishing. I don't know if you could get in any trouble. Like, if it's a refurbish, like, they can't come after you directly, right? But if you build versus put it inside, I know it went through hell. This poor thing. It's got the new motor on there. You know, it's got the new motor. The belt's a little better. That. I don't have the motor. I scrapped it, but she was gnarly, man. Beautiful belt though. Nice belt. Good for a backup, at least. Nice and solid. That's right. Put it inside. But yeah, so what I was getting at with that open, those residential ones, right? If you build one from scrap, I look at it like I go, I guarantee, like there's a lot of regulations. There'd be, like safety. So, but if you refurbish one, I don't know if there's any blowback on that. You know what I mean? Like you weren't it's like keeping like an old truck running, right? Like if it didn't have seatbelts, that was original manufacturer. It doesn't need to have seatbelts. You know what I mean? Because it didn't come with seatbelts. So that's why I wonder if you were to refurbish, is there any, because I don't even know for sure. Because see, like when I did a gate operator at the power plant, the inspector came out and he started kind of like looking at me like, this thing, there's no, I think I had, what I have on it? Just an edge, but I had like an edge. I didn't have two safeties for the forward. And he's like looking at me like, what are you, stupid? And I'm like, no, but I'm like, here's the thing. This thing's not equipped with it. And I said, this was on the property. And I thought the word what I said. And I know he knew this thing. I mean, this whole area is a brand new pavement and everything. But I was reluctant to tell him that I wanted to say, this was on the property. We moved it. And I was waiting for him to say, well, since you moved it, now you have to bring it up to today's standards. If it was in its original place, it could keep the old, with little safeties. But when I told him, I said, hey, we moved it on the property. It was, existing here. We just moved it over here, which was whatever, another, 200 feet. He said, oh, and he just seemed like he just was like, oh, well then like, it don't need to have this safety on it and this other safety. It was like he just wanted it to like, I think there was like a force setting, so he pushed on the gate and that still worked. I think I had to turn it down just a little bit so it reversed when it kind of bumped into him. But obviously it's going to get cranked back up because we live in winter, and when wintertime comes, it's going to be problematic. There you go. There's guy says I got to show up to the IDA. He says with prototype. There you go. I don't think, like I said, somebody have to let me know when the next. I don't know where the next one's going to be. If it's going to be in Cali or like Indianapolis, if they're going to do the next IDA show. It's probably going to be, I'm assuming, next year. I'm sure. I don't know. They do 2 a year or one. I can't remember. What's Eric? Evan says, Eric, you could probably keep it simple and do an airlift door. An airlift door? What? For residential? Oh, you're talking like the airlift. You're talking about like compressed air? How are you going to run that? Kevin says, he says, if he has Verizon, he says Tony may not have service. He says over 100,000 without service. Golly, he says Tony only is 45 minutes from me. Dang, man, that's crazy. Over 100,000. Any theory? Any theory, Kevin, or anybody have any idea why? I don't understand something so far south. I mean, I think it was effects, and I think I know somebody on Facebook. And I believe she's in the UP, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and she was like, "Well, she's like, my Verizon's out, blah blah blah," and people obviously are joking, like, "If you didn't pay your bill," she's like, "That's the problem. I paid my bill," and she's like, "I'm out of service." So and then I think my brother-in-law had problems too, and he's up, in I don't know, like Grand Rapids, Michigan, basically. So, but then I seen somewhere it said something about down south, and I kept thinking, well, how? Cause wait, is it like because all the energy is going down there? Is it all a streamline? It's like getting weird to me how they can, like, these power plants are closing and we can still have all this electricity. Like, it just blows my mind. Eric says airlift is not simple. I'm assuming if it's the airlift, like what's on like a car wash, man, it's got a lot of seals and leak by and everything. What's up, Rich? Which says it's grandfather in. It's grandfathered in. Gotcha. That's what I was kind of thinking. So it'd be pretty cool. Wouldn't it be pretty cool? Like, I don't know how that would work. If somebody could ever make money off it, like Evan could make money maybe. Like, could you imagine if somebody was posting, across the board, like they'd be sending them to garage door companies after garage door companies, and we're like, we'll buy your openers for, or send them in or whatever. Even if you started something kind of local, maybe $5, $10, whatever, $20. I mean, I know for me, like I would save them for somebody, I mean, that's probably better money than scrap. Plus they're going to get reused. It's better for the environment. They're going to refurbish them, put them back out there. Be pretty cool. So, I mean, like if somebody was going around locally and is like, hey, I'll buy back your old openers. I'm looking for certain models or something or whatever. Kevin says, yeah, I think if it's same property, he says it's okay. He says once it leaves, it has to be code. Oh, that's a good. You might be right. You might be right. You might be right with that statement. I don't know for sure officially. I really don't. They gotta charge a couple dollars for these things too. As much some beaver spit wood or something. Most is like that decking material. Huh. Evans guy said, I honestly don't know if you could make a better opener today without pulling out all electronics. Man. Like I said, that's why you have to find some of those older openers, I think. That were just kind of bulletproof and a lot of times it'll be like a belt and some of those belt drive ones that'll go bad. It's a gear kit, that goes bad and people don't know it. And some people just want to upgrade because they want like the MyQ stuff or, things like that, the Wi-Fi stuff, or they just don't even know, what I mean? So they just go out and buy another one and take the other one out, even though they got a nice solid rail that the rail was made from basically used railroad tracks. That's why that stuff's so stinking hard. I don't know. I mean, we're slicing hairs, I mean, maybe it's just, how it is. Sometimes could you make money? Yeah, you might make $20-$60, but hard to make a lot more, unless you're over by Rusty. Just do it $100 less than Rusty. You'll make a few dollars. Just playing with you, Rusty. Honestly don't know. Eric says electronics can be right if done right. Says look at Genie, the 880 screw drive had a control board and had no issues. Yep, the old Genie. I don't know if anybody's experienced. Has anybody been experienced in the red light of death? That's what I used to call it, the red light of death. I have not seen that in quite a while. Where the thing would just like lock up and it would just stay red. The light would stay red. You like unplug it, wait, whatever. You could wait 5-10 minutes, don't matter. Plug it back in. It was like the red light of death. It just would not unlock from the red light. You basically had to change out the board, or we just change out the head unit. Kevin's guy says, no, it's weird. Not all Verizon affected. Work phone through Verizon, mine worked, but commercial service tech and office didn't work. Now that is weird. That's weird. That's like, are they watching you kind of stuff? Like certain people, like they watch the resis versus the commercial or commercial versus resis? Like, that's weird, man. That's weird. Eric Scott or Evan, I'm sorry, says I agree, or Eric, I agree. Holy shnikes, I went too fast. I agree, but it seems like they're like every opener has to have ability to tie into Amazon key or whatever. Yeah. I haven't heard too many people do it, but I tell you, we did the one yesterday with Caleb, and the guy I could see was already monkeying around with trying to get it to connect the Wi-Fi, and I told him, I said, I don't know for sure. I said, I don't know if that MyQ, does anybody know, with the MyQ, do you have to pay a subscription or what is the description for, because this was it was a brand new Chamberlain. Where was it from? I think he ordered it offline, but you know, it was basically like a Lowe's or something. I don't know what the model was, but dual headlight. We put a 10-foot rail on it. But I seen it had the MyQ stuff, and I seen him monkeying with it. And I was like, I don't know if you have to pay a subscription. I said to, you know, so I don't know if it's to activate certain features or you can at least get the primitive. Because like I said, I really just don't mess with the MyQ. Hopefully he doesn't go up there and start pushing buttons that he shouldn't be pushing. I think you can do it from the wall console, right? You can do it from the wall console. No, it's weird. Eric says the key. Rusty says, Dave, speaking of prices, I gave a phone quote over the other day for a bunch of commercial doors, and the woman said I was double the price. Oh, and actually left me a good Google review on just the estimate. Oh, that is weird, man. I'm telling you, Rusty, you got a weird demographic over there. We don't get that in Michigan. We got a bunch of cheap honkies around here, man. They just hang up on you. What? Guess the price wasn't what he wanted or what he expected. Only red light of deaths I've experienced was on the old buddy's Xboxes. That's funny. Someone called the next day and told me they had a LiftMaster replaced, quoted for 22. Holy cow, man, those numbers are astronomical. He says, I told him I would do it for 900. So people's prices are all over the place here. That is crazy. That is crazy. Most people around here in our neck of the woods, they don't touch LiftMaster. I think we're the only ones. Yeah, we're pretty much, there might be another guy around here that might touch it, but most time everybody does a spring conversion. Even ourselves did quite a few spring conversions because it just takes it, you know, some people would wait. We tell them, say it's going to be a week, because Wayne Dalton would come religiously every week at Thursday at 8 o'clock in the morning, which was super sweet. And then when the cough syndrome happened, things changed. But you know, they sometimes wait. Most of the time we just swap them out, you know, go back to shop, whatever, get parts, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Eric Scotty says, there's always going to be that one person that wants something that works at least 30 years, and that is what I'm looking for. Amen. There is people out there. I just don't think it's the majority, unfortunately. They're out there. You know, it's like me when I dealt with that AC. So, what the heck, right? We'll have a little fun here. I bought a well pump. I bought a well pump from Home Depot. Anyways, let me step back here. So I originally went to my well pump guy that fixes our well pumps. You know, he said these old pumps are way better than the new pumps. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm a little green. Anyways, the weekend came open, so I go to Home Depot. I need a well pump. This was for a outside. I buy a brand new pump. It's the Everbuilt. I don't know about all Everbuilt products from Home Depot, but this Everbuilt pump was the biggest. On the sticker, it says you may have to take a screwdriver, like be doing the back of this one. Let's see, I get you moved over a little bit without messing it up. It'd be like taking a screwdriver in the back of this motor and turn it as it runs. And I thought, my gosh, I said, that sounds dangerous as hell. I thought, now how in the hell would you ever explain that to grandma or your mom? You know, hey mom, the pump when it runs, if it just hums, you gotta stick a screwdriver in the back, not too much pressure, not too much, because it'll, you know. And I thought, now that already seems like a really bad idea. Anyways, I proceeded. I installed it. Sure enough, it fires up, right? It just hums. It won't spin. I had to take a screwdriver, I spin it, right? I get it spinning. Woo, it runs. Cool. It's running, right? It shuts off, going through the cycles. Every cycle, the darn thing would not turn on. I had to take a screwdriver and spun it every time. And I'm going, are you serious? I mean, are you serious right now? I got to stick a screwdriver in the back of this motor, this AC motor, every time I make this well pump run. This is stupid. Like, and so I took it back. I got another one. The other one right from the get-go, same thing. Kind of started off, but it would start, but it hesitated. Like I was like, I don't know if I trust this. So luckily, it's not my main pump. It's just a secondary, just for water and whatever, trees and stuff like that. And so anyways, I'm monkeying with it. I pay attention to it. That one fails. It's not working right. I buy a third one. Third time I go in, right? I buy a better one. I buy a bigger power one. I'm thinking maybe if I spend more money, I'll get a better quality. That one made it for, I don't know, maybe a year or something like that. It failed. And the worst part is when it failed, I literally walked into the garage. I could smell something burning. I was like, oh my gosh, something smells hot. What the hell? You know, and first thing I thought is, oh my gosh, that motor. So I went over, I touched it, screaming hot. I shut it off. I tried to turn it. It's not working. It cools down. It runs again. I got to stick a screwdriver in it, though, and it runs. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I take it to my pump guy. I do the walk of shame. I walk in there. I did something I shouldn't have. I should have bought an old pump from you. I, bought this thing. It was a weekend. Can you take a shim out of this, or can you look at it? Can we figure this out? If you just want it for parts, I don't know. Throw it, scrap it. Give me another one. I don't care. He takes the shim out of it. Now it spins freely. Okay, cool, great. It runs for about maybe another year. And it fails. I take it back to him. I said, I don't care what you do with this thing. So I don't care if you scrap it, whatever you want to do. You want to give it away, want to rebuild it, I don't care. I said, I just figured I'd give it to you. So I throw it in the scrap hopper. I said, but give me a damn pump that runs. And he pulled one off, the F&W, good brand. I believe in him now. Pump. Starts it up. I remember he started it, and there was an arc somewhere in the thing, And I said, dude. He goes, yeah. I go, ooh, man, arced a little bit there. And I said, man, I like that. I said, that thing's got power. And he said, well, this thing's got dual capacitors. So does this motor right here on this opener. Has dual capacitor. He said it has a start capacitor and it has a run capacitor. I don't know all the geometry to all that stuff. All I know is I like a big motor. I like a motor that runs, not one I got to stick a screwdriver in. So that's when I kind of told myself that the world that we live in is everything is becoming less powerful. They build everything so much cheaper nowadays. That's my rant. Day, a bunch of commercial doors, Google, red lights, someone called. 900, Eric, he said, there's going to be that one person that wants 30. So I stopped using my queue. Eric said, stop using my queue. It's a security issue, like Papa Tony said. That's right, man. That's right. Got to use whatever to make it make sense. Peter, what's up? Says, I'm that person, Eric. Rusty says, my queue subscription is to watch the camera on your phone after 1 month when the free trial runs out. Okay. But otherwise, what can you do with the MyQ, right? You can control your door, right? You can tell if the door is open or closed or what time it came up and all that kind of stuff, right? That's all free, I'm assuming. MyQ, freeze. He says, I want to make the speed queen of garage door openers. Amen, brother. I like that. Hey, I got a speed queen. Got the dryer. My dryer makes a little bit of a noise, though, which I don't know if it's normal. It's been like that since day one, but it's running strong, baby. It's running strong. The washer is going to be next. When it goes. We'll get the... But even, what's funny about it? Even the Speed Queen, I've watched some videos on it. That's why they have to call it commercial, because they're having issues too with the government regulations of them consuming so much water and stuff. And like, I think one way they got around it was I think the dryer has like a sensitive, like it senses the dryness in a sense. And I don't know if you can really bypass that. Wife knows how to kind of do her trickery with it a little bit. It works for the most part pretty good, and I'm really happy. It's solid. It's got a light inside, which is nice. Our old one didn't have that. Really nice. Really happy. You know what I mean? But you spend the money, baby. It's a lot more. I mean, it's what, instead of a $1,200 units, it's $2,000, 22, something like that. Free trial runs out. Make speed queen. Evan's guy says, I think the subscription is if you use a camera. Says we don't use a camera and we can control it from free. So dog sat in front of the neighbor. Dog sat for some neighbors, and we're able to share a virtual key. Virtual key, no problem. Oh, that's nice. I said she's left me. I said she left me. Oh, she left you a bad review? Oh, what a booger. Dang, man. Sorry to hear that, Rusty. That's a bummer. Dang. Tell you, man, that's stupid. Why would they do that? That's why you got to watch these customers, man. I tell you, that's why I'm always like telling everybody, you always got to really watch. And I mean, you know, I don't know, man. That's so silly. That's just so silly. That's horrible. What a pain in the butt having a bad review. So you got to really watch. You got to watch, you know, some of these people. That's a horrible one. That seems horrible. That one really gets me. Bad review because I give you, man. If it was an estimate for a building, she didn't even know the headroom. Oh my gosh. She didn't know headroom either. Yeah. Man. See, I think this kind of goes back to why I'm always like really a big fan about the loyal customers. You know, like when you kind of get in with like a builder, a commercial builder, that's why I think I advocate for it. I know the one secretary, I know he gives her a lot of grief. One of them does. But I'm like, you know, he gives you some headache. He gives you some flack. He doesn't like to sign things sometimes. But I also look at it and I go, you know, you're not dealing with all these one-off. Like, see, like residential always kind of bugs me because you're going into a lot of unknown unless you're getting pictures. You know what I mean? But you there's just so many variables to where a commercial could be kind of like that too. But it's normally there's a backup door. They have other options. The maintenance guys can help get it down. So maybe it saves you, you know, a run out there. If they're a seasoned commercial customer, you know, you're not out there, you know. And I could be wrong with this. I'm just kind of talking with my experience. What I've noticed is that, like for us, like we don't really have to advertise. Like I don't remember any advertising we've done over the years. Just because we do our certain regional area, and we cover it really good. You know, and we provide a good service. I bet our customers, you know, these commercial ones have been with us for at least from 08, you know, 08, 09, 010. And I can't even think of any commercial ones right off the top that we've lost, that there weren't ones that we wanted to kick to the curb because they were just either too much problems. You know, because we had one. The guy was always crying about springs and stuff. And, you know, I told him, I said, why don't you get these springs in stock? You know, I had three different style doors, manufacturers. You know, some commercial doors had 4 springs on them. Some of them had 2. Some were Amar, I think some were Wayne Dalton. Some were like a Clopay or something. And every time a spring would break, he'd always whine. And their conditions were not the best. He always had to be on the rail. They never wanted to shut down the crane. They ended up using another company. And once they switched over to another company, it was like, goodbye, you know, good luck. And that lasted for about maybe a year and a half, 2. And it was funny how he reached out to me, of course, right? And he's like, hey, what's going on? You know, and I'm like, not much. You know, you still doing? Nope. And I said, you know, like I said, I'm kind of do my real estate. You know, I said, nope. I said, what? You know, and then it was funny because Cap texted me and was like, hey, this gentleman's reaching out to us. I said, huh. I said, I have a feeling he's looking for our service because the other company that provided around town is not suiting him well anymore. And it's very common because this company will do that. They'll start providing bad service to customers they don't particularly like, or just they can't handle it or whatever. And so I said, we're not letting him back in. I said, I wouldn't do it. He said, I don't want to. He says, we've already had enough headaches with him over the years. Sorry, it wasn't clear. That was for torsion spring conversion. It says those prices. Oh, it's all good. Rich has got what you got. Eric, he says, I'm sure that's trademarked. That's right. I will make sure that's trademark. What is he going on? Eric says, he says, I will make my own trademark. Professional Door, he says, what would be cool is a opener that is designed like an old V-belt opener. It has all the new safety features, but you can buy a kit that you can plug in the back of the opener. Then it could be smart. Yeah, I try to think of some of the old ones. Like, I don't know. Eric says, he says he likes that idea. Heck yeah. What's Evan got? Evan's got, he says, Eric, he says, maybe find one of those old genies with the brain cells. You could add on and maybe put a DC motor on it and whatever else it would need. Maybe. Gonna base it off the Alistair. So Eric, now the Alistair too, right? I haven't tore one out in quite a while. Now the Alistair, remind me, the Alistair is one that's got the clips that go on the chain, right? That was always the big problem with them. They throw one of those clips on there and lose its limits. Remind me on that. Yep, that's what he says. That's what he says. I come across a couple of those, and I always remember I'd be looking for them because they'd be like on a wood door or something, small door. Not always. They were on all kinds of different doors, but if you lost that clip, so I used to, when I'd tear them out and scrap them or whatever, I would always keep those clips so I could resurrect somebody's old one because that's typically all was wrong, right? Unless they got jammed up or something on the thing, got broke. But those were pretty good. Those were pretty good units, that's for sure. They were built like tanks, man. It's like yesterday when I picked up that Chamberlain, even with a 10-foot rail on it, I could do it one hand, no problem. I'm thinking, oh my gosh. I said, is there anything in this head unit? Like, it's so light. Like, hello? What's in here? Yep, he says, I'm going to do internal limits. See, I always wonder if you could, like, if you could have shrunk. I don't know why. I still like those. I like those Oscos. The cover was always a little goofy if you didn't have the wire in the back. The Osco commercial ones with the cover that flipped down, the blue covers. I think they had gray covers too. The roll pin always would fall out. That was their biggest thing. But man, I always thought they were kind of a smaller version. They would have made a good residential opener as well. But, and it's like, where do those prints and all that stuff go? Where's all the tooling for that? All the stamps, all the presses. Like, I wonder where all that machinery and stuff went. Be cool to see it all. Probably like an old series. I gotta find one to dissect. So, do the Sears have internal? Because I think the Sears, I thought they had aren't they above the unit, the head unit? I don't even remember how they quite keep their limits, honestly, or what they're using up there. If they're using like a force setting, or how they work. The old Sears, man, those things. Like I said, but, these are my babies. I like these ones. These are about the favorite ones. They had the photo eye. Kind of simple, Gears, about the only problem you have with them. Says, I can't tell you how much I love the old Oscos. He says they are built like a tank. I still see them today running like new. I know, isn't that crazy? Yeah, those I don't know why. The covers were problematic. when I first started out, when I dealt with a lot of the Oscos, I ripped a lot out, and I was always like kind of really proud to put in the LiftMaster. Um, because the LiftMaster's got a nice, bright, shiny cover, and you got, you can program, remotes to them and all this stuff. But I think as time went on, I look back and I feel kind of bad that I threw so many of those Oscos away, in a sense, because they were good units. A lot of times they throw a roll pin in the front, right here on this. This was the spot for them to roll. I don't know what this one's got. What's this got? What do you got? What do you got? Is that a roll pin? Yeah, it's got a roll pin in it. But it was like if they would have made the roll pin a little bigger, it might have stayed. So what I would do is I would put a new roll pin in typically, and I cheated. I only had electrical tape, so sometimes I'd wrap it, a bunch of electrical tape. I put hose clamps on it. I've also sometimes I would ping it some way or whatever, so it hopefully wouldn't come out. Mushroomed it. I've taken vice grips. I have a little longer roll pin, and smash it with vice grips just to get the ends so it couldn't wobble out. And they were back up and running. I did have one that tricked me. I couldn't figure out, really ticked me off, but I was taking parts from another unit, so I don't know what the deal was. And I finally just called it and said, so we got to replace it. I said, this thing's just, they need it running. I just didn't have any more time to spend with it. I was pretty much over it. And then the sad part was, as we replaced it, the new LiftMaster we put in probably about a year or two later, I started having problems because they cook bricks in there, right? They make cinder blocks, and the moisture was screwing up the new LiftMaster. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, this is horrible. This is so embarrassing. Now, it's not LiftMaster's fault, but it's just the fact that we had an old Osco in here. It's been in here for 25, 30 years, that just started having a glitch. And it still was running, but it had some glitch in it. It would make it shut down. I couldn't figure out why. I know all the common things that make them shut down, and I tried changing everything pretty much. Maybe not the motor, but I changed out the logic, whatever you call it, the contactors. I mean, it just couldn't get it. And now we got an opener in here, so I think we had to put like a cover over it so the drips from the ceiling wouldn't get inside or whatever. But which is weird because we had one we put in a car wash and they're spraying. And that thing's rusty as can be. It's an MT LiftMaster, and that thing's still chugging away. I mean, the chain is 10 times worse than this, and the chain's all like just blah, 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 and it still would just run. And so it's like, what gives? What gives? I love it. Kevin's guy goes, scrap the metal down. It's now in a Tesla, someone's Tesla. I just seen one of the Cybertrucks again today. I think it's my maybe fourth or sixth one I've seen. I just cannot get on board with those things. I just look at them and, I think, God, they're so heavy. I've watched some videos of them doing some off-road stuff. They look like bricks. I mean, it looks like a kid holding a brick in sandbox, just so heavy. I seen somebody hauling, I think they were hauling drywall on it. They ended up dumping it, because the bed must be so short. I just, no, thank you. I'm good. I'm good, man. So he says, Eric says the wood grain sears have it inside. Gosh, I don't remember if I still got one out in the woods somewhere. I got one I had out in the woods. I don't remember if I finally got rid of that thing or what. It was getting pretty rusty crusty. But I thought it was, if it's internal, is it like a limit nut? I'll have to see if I can find like an old video on YouTube or something. If it's got like an internal limit nut, or is it like, what is it quite like? You know what I mean? Cybertruck equals dumpster. Yeah, I just, maybe the Tesla cars, I can, even the Tesla cars look funny. They look like they sit up kind of high to me, the platform. I know they got different models, and I think some of the other models are a little more sleek. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I just don't think they're just not for us. You know what I'm saying? Dun, dun, dun. Then a fleet of them. Imagine, like, I don't remember if I was ever thinking about it, where I was like, we'll get a fleet of them for the trucks. You could charge them at night, because I think, wasn't Ford coming out with like a service fan or something like that. I don't remember. Not sure the science. I never took one apart. Huh. Well, you have to. We got ourselves a new adventure, don't we, Mr. Eric? We'll have to see if you know, if there's a video out there. If not, I'll have to see if I can find one. We'll have to open her up, take a look at it, because now you got me wondering. The old sear limits were a pain. They remind me of a commercial limits, but more of a pain. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. That's what I was kind of wondering about them. I can't remember if there's anything better than the comes off the top of my head, you know. Like I said, if you have to go up to new standards, I think they had the old gears in it like this. They were pretty solid. And the LiftMaster, Chamberlain. This was his weakest link, but you know, I didn't mind these too much. I could live, 10, 15, 20 years. You got to pop a gear in it. Like I said, and I always wondered if you did a preventative maintenance though, like it'd be cool if you had a customer that was signed up for a preventative maintenance package, and every year, some old boy or myself or somebody out there was going in, they go through the whole door, oil everything, they're also pulling the cover off, and they're like, look, this opener's still running with the original gear, and it's 35 years old. And be like, wow, if it's 35 years old and it's getting used every day, obviously greasing that puppy is helping, keeping it alive. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Oh, perfect. Eric says, my uncle still has a Sears. He says, so I got to pull it so I can look at it. Heck yeah. Oh, I believe there's a professional door service. He says, I believe there is a video of you, searching up Sears. 139, I don't know all those number limits, adjustment. Huh. I don't remember working on it could be. It's funny because the other day, Cap says he goes, I couldn't figure out how to wire up a 4-wire terminal or something receiver up to a 3-wire, vice versa or something. And he said, he took a screenshot, whatever, and he goes, I was looking for it online. He says, I look, he goes, there's Babyface Dave. He says, he ain't got no facial hair. He sent me a screenshot. And I said, well, yeah. I said, the reason I made that video, I said, because I said, I knew damn well, I said, I wouldn't remember how to do it. I said, in the future, I said, so that's why I made the video. And I said, it was actually for my reference. And he said, well, it worked out great. He says, because I didn't remember how to do it either. He said, so I watched the video, and he goes, it worked fine. He says, good thing. He says, I got I think he's got to do it to some other doors, 3 more doors somewhere else. And I was like, well, I'm glad that worked out for you. That's why I did it. Peter says, does the grease make the plastic brittle? That's a good question. Now, I don't know for sure if they grease these from the factory, but I've never had one of these fail. Well, maybe one. Maybe one split on me before. I feel like I remember one cracked in half. But I always grease these too a little bit. Because I figure it's a wear point, even though it's not that heavy. But definitely got to grease those puppies. Those puppies are big. Otherwise, they tear up. But it might. You never know. Like I said, whatever that grease was that was on Rusty's, that belt drive looked a heck of a lot nicer grease than what was on whatever seen these. His was like a yellow, almost had like a mustard look to it. This was actually kind of an older one too, so it's even got more of a tinge to it. But that grease on his, man, looked sweet. I mean, I've never seen one looking that nice. That's for sure. So anywho, I think I'm gonna hop off here and get cleaned up, call a night, find a midnight snack somewhere. We missed out on Papa Tony. We had Rich though. Rich was in the house. Rich must be hanging out in the background. He ain't talking too much tonight. So that's always good. And we got professional door service. We got Rusty. We got Eric, Evan, got Peter. Did I miss anybody else? If I did, Kevin was here. It's all good, man. It's all good. Evan, there's Freeze. think we got a few of you guys. I think I got all y'all at most. Anywho, let me know too. If you guys got anything, shoot me an email. I love the emails. I just got the one out from Mr. A today. I think I got one for you too, if it's the same Peter. You're asking about the fence, how to get a fence. I got one. So if you want me to, I might be able to release that yet tonight, possibly, if it's the same Peter. I don't know for sure, but you're asking a question about how do we get a fence job across in another town from a commercial, or how to advertise to residential. So I put a few 2 cents in there. Like I said, it's always good to have that kind of stuff. So all kinds of different ways. Yep, he says same Peter. Awesome. Well, maybe I'll lay in the old bed and get that video released. I think it downloaded a little bit, so like I said, it might help you out on a few things. I think honestly, for some of you guys, just a little inside secret. I think that was the video. I'm pretty sure. I'm positive it is. That's the video. If you guys stay tuned to that video towards the middle or towards the end, that one's got a good. I played a clip in there of a door that I literally cut in half, and I think this door was, gosh, that door I think was around. It was wider than, it's either 18 or 20 foot wide, and I believe it's 14 tall, if I remember right. And they had a fire. They had a transformer that burned up. This builder came in. The owners came in, and they were like, is there anything we can do to special order, like anything we can do to get this door running? Because the way the building's set up, it's like a one way. All their semi comes, and it's actually a beer place. I'll let you know that it's a beer place, and it's Budweiser. And anywho, they were just begging me like anything we can do, and I totally pulled the rabbit out of the hat. You know what I mean? I was like, well, we could try to cut the door in half. And that job was a little bit bitter because I actually missed out on one of my family's Christmas parties. So I was a little bummed about that. And it might have been the last one before my family had a little kapow, and we don't do them anymore. You know, one of those family things. And so, yeah. So we ended up doing it. The builder was trying to get us to be like stay there. It was like when we wrapped up or whatever. It was like 3:00 in the morning when me and Cap/Dale did it, and I told the dude, I said, we're going home. I said, we're going to go home. I said, we're going to get cleaned up. We're going to get some sleep. Owners knew. The builder guy that was kind of in charge, his name was something. I don't want to claim it, but starts with an S. And it might be like a S and then an egg, like a S, like slug. Let's call him Slug. And he was like making us kind of like his, like bees, let's just say, his bumblebees. And anyways, he kept like, well, aren't you going to put the wood up? And I said, that's not us. I said, we're not builders. I said, I don't know where your guys are at. I said, they're supposed to be putting this plywood up or whatever. I said, we'll come back the next day. So actually in the picture, if you see the one dude, he's a bigger dude. He's got a big orange vest on. He's the dude. I did not get along with this guy very well. Cap and him worked on a few other jobs, and then finally something exploded, and now Cap won't work for him either. So just a little inside scoop. But anyways, cut the door in half, took the end caps, the other one, basically made a functioning door for the customer. They were super happy. They were so nice. You know, since they're the Budweiser place, they actually gave us a case of beer, both of us. They were like, don't be drinking and driving. Absolutely. Don't do that. And they gave us, they bought pizza. So they gave us some leftover pizza. We had pizza while we were there, the builder and that. So that was kind of nice. That was kind of cool. That was really nice of them to do that. So it was pretty cool stuff, you know what I mean? But so anyways, like I said, maybe it'll come out yet tonight. If it is, it'll be, you might see in the morning because you go none night. So don't be sucking your thumb, okay? So I got to tell my kids, don't be sucking your thumb, all right? So, all right, I'm out of here, guys. I love you all. Thanks for being here. And if you got anything, like I said, hit me up, text me, email me. I'm here for you. Take care.